So the Department of Civil Engineering actually houses two separate undergraduate programs. So we have the Civil Engineering undergrad program and the Mineral Engineering program. The Civil Engineering is probably a bit better known in terms of people's understanding of what civil engineering is. So I'll talk about both of the programs so you can get an idea. And this is sort of what I usually talk about in more of a recruitment presentation. You know, I won't really be talking about some of the more general department things, more talking about the programs themselves. But in terms of just a brief overview, we're sort of a medium-sized department. We have about 42 professors, about 500 undergrad students. In Civ, about 100 in Min, so it's a smaller program. Graduate students, we have about 320. About 100 of those are professional masters, so the MEng students, and then about 200 research stream students, so PhD and MASc. In terms of the civil engineering side of it, what we sort of describe civil engineering as enabling students to learn to design and build the infrastructure and systems that enable humans to live better, more productive lives. So it's a very sort of broad definition, but we're kind of dealing with infrastructure in general. So the field is very diverse. So anything from the more familiar civil topics like buildings, like building structures, which is like a very big part of our department. You've probably seen the huge structures lab in the Galbraith building, which is where our students and professors do their research. So we're dealing with structures, but also with energy efficiency and sustainability, so building science, so more like making sure buildings are efficient. We also work with construction management, so the actual management of those big projects. Somewhat, we also deal with the materials that are used. We have a lot of professors that deal with concrete technology, steel, timber, and that kind of thing. And then we also have a transportation group that deals with transportation infrastructure. So very different from the structural part of it. This is like everything from transportation planning, sort of more on the social science side, to things like actual technology of traffic lights and that kind of thing. We also have a large environmental component in terms of sort of sustainability, energy systems, environmental infrastructure, but also the more technical side, which is actual drinking water research, which we actually work a lot of there's collaboration between the chem department, or chem-eng department and us on that. And wastewater, water resources, and that kind of thing. So it's quite a huge field. And when I'm talking to sort of high school students about the program, we emphasize how our location in Toronto is really key, because when you're studying infrastructure and cities and that kind of thing, like this is sort of a great laboratory to be in. And definitely we emphasize too, like throughout all of our different areas, the sustainability issue. So looking at the relationship between humans, the built environment, the natural environment, and how to build infrastructure sustainably. Something else that's interesting is and kind of unique, is that all of our students, the Civs and the Mins, go to survey camp. Well, it used to be called, we call it camp now, but it was traditionally a survey camp in between second and third year. So they go up to a property that the university owns up at Gull Lake, and they spend 2 weeks with professors, and their the class is split into half. And it's something that we really is part of the culture of our department. In terms of advancement, like we have different campaigns where we are fundraising to sort of renovate the buildings at survey camp. But it's something that our alumni remember and talk about. Like when I meet them, they're like, oh yeah, you know, survey camp was like one of the best times of my life, you know, that kind of thing. They really form bonds with the class. So that's something that we really like to promote, and it's something that's quite unique. I don't know if there's any other civil engineering programs that actually have a surveying camp that they go to. We've expanded it beyond just surveying. It's now sort of environmental measurements and sort of other things that they do up there. But it's still the same sort of thing. And the mineral students also go to that camp, and they have other camps they go to as well. The mineral engineering program is a smaller program. It's a challenge to get high school students interested in a career where they might be underground for most of the time. So at least that's the impression. So we spend a lot of time debunking the myths around mineral engineering. A lot of it is mining design. Like, we're dealing with a lot of different aspects. So it's the exploration part of it. So mining, like geology, exploration, finding mineral deposits, but also the actual mine design. So the digging part of it. And then also some mineral processing, which is after you dig it, what do you do with it? And then we also have courses in the mining finance aspect. So then we need to sell it or finance the mines. They're these gigantic projects that need financing, and it's an important part of the business. Again, with mineral, it's because we're in a city, we like to emphasize the fact that Toronto is the mining finance capital of pretty much the world, along with London, England. So our students have a really good opportunities to network with mining companies. There's lots of events that the companies put on trying to entice students into the field. There's a real need for students to go into this field. And there's a lot of scholarships available and that kind of thing, because there is this need, because it's hard to get new blood into this field. And then, of course, we're also dealing a lot with environmental issues with mining. So more and more, like, we are trying to instill that across the program, because not only do we need to find the deposits, dig them, we need to do it in an environmentally safe way. What else? I could just ramble on for a long time. Does anybody have any questions? Are we going to do questions, or?
Yeah, I think if anybody has any questions, for sure.
I don't know. Yeah. I wasn't sure exactly what people would be interested in, because I know everybody's in different areas. So when we do these for recruitment purposes, it's a lot easier, because everybody is, we're just trying to figure out ways to sort of, make people interested in the programs, student-wise. Yeah.
Can you talk a bit more about some of the research areas that your profs are working at?
Yeah, I mean, basically those main areas that I talked about. I mean, the structural, like, each of those areas definitely has professors doing different things. We have quite a big earthquake engineering, a lot of professors working in that, so trying to make buildings more earthquake safe, I guess. The drinking water group is very, very active. Water is a big priority of the university at the moment, and they're quite involved in that. So different technologies for cleaning water, making drinking water safe. Transportation-wise, there's a intelligent transportation group which deals with basically transportation technology. So things like trying to coordinate traffic lights so that traffic flows properly and things like that. And we do have a whole transportation U-Tree, which is the transportation research group. There's a lot of different things, and we have quite a few new young faculty that are starting. We have like an indoor air quality research is something that have a professor who's doing that now. That's sort of on the building science side, and building envelope design, so making sure that the building is energy efficient, so looking at the actual envelope so that no heat is escaping, that kind of thing.